Released in February 2025, Captain America. Brave New World continues the story of Sam Wilson, formerly the Falcon, now officially shouldering the mantle of Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Directed by Julius Onah and produced by Marvel Studios, the film thrusts its new captain into a global conspiracy that blends political stakes with superhero spectacle. Anthony Mackie carries the film at its center, playing Sam Wilson with earnest resolve as he adjusts to carrying the shield and leading the narrative as the MCU's primary hero. His performance remains anchored by sincerity, capturing both Wilson's moral clarity and occasional uncertainty. Harrison Ford appears as President Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, a complex political figure who embodies both leadership and a literal superpowered threat as the Red Hulk, giving the film a personal antagonist whose conflict with Wilson carries emotional and geopolitical weight. The ensemble supporting cast, including Danny Ramirez, Shira Haas, Zosha Rocamore, Carl Lumbly, Giancarlo Esposito, Liv Tyler, and Tim Blake Nelson, adds depth. Though some characters are underutilized due to the film's crowded plot, under Onah's direction, the film attempts a balance between political thriller and superhero blockbuster. Action sequences are competent, with brisk pacing and visual clarity, especially in early confrontations that set the tone for a globe-spanning mystery. Visually, Brave New World delivers the expected MCU polish, though some critics point out that certain CGI and production design feel less dynamic than in recent franchise entries, a contrast that becomes more noticeable on smaller screens. The tone oscillates between earnest superhero action and political intrigue, aiming for thematic weight but occasionally sagging under its own narrative complexity. Narratively, the film's setup, Sam confronting a global plot and confronting old and new threats, carries potential. Incorporating political backdrops and President Ross's transformation into Red Hulk adds an internal conflict that could explore power, loyalty, and identity. However, many critics have noted that the story sometimes feels overstuffed and uneven, struggling to stitch together its multiple threads into a cohesive whole. Aggregated reviews sit in the mid-40s on the tomatometer, with commentary that the film is too routine and burdened by too many connective elements, Easter eggs, and genre obligations. According to some reviewers, action scenes land intermittently rather than consistently, and pacing issues, particularly in the third act, diminish dramatic tension. Where the film could have improved in Brave New World could have benefited from greater narrative focus. Streamlining subplots and deepening core character arcs, particularly Sam's internal struggle with legacy and leadership, might have given the film more emotional resonance. Stronger integration of its political stakes and villain motivations, rather than relying on spectacle or familiar Avengers beats, would have elevated the film above its structural congestion. Critics also suggest that a more daring visual identity, rather than conventional MCU styling, could have distinguished this sequel. Box office reception positioned Brave New World as one of 2025's major releases, with a strong President's Day weekend and significant global grosses, confirming Marvel's enduring commercial pull. Audience responses tend to be more positive than critical consensus, with many fans appreciating Mackie's central performance, the action beats, and the MCU's expanding world, even if the film's narrative execution feels uneven to seasoned viewers. Culturally, the film marks a notable milestone. A new Captain America taking center stage in a franchise still navigating legacy, representation, and evolving global themes within its blockbuster framework. Film rating 6 out of 10. An ambitious but uneven MCU installment, solid in parts, yet undercut by narrative overload and inconsistent pacing. Final thoughts. Captain America, Brave New World, succeeds most when it embraces its lead character's earnest moral core and the stakes of its political confrontation. But in attempting too much, it sometimes underwhelms where clarity and focus matter most. Like and subscribe, because carrying a shield is heavy, especially when you're trying to carry the whole world along with it.
You want me, baby, let me know all in this. You want me, baby, show